So I've been expecting this, but it finally happened. One of my cars broke down, guys. It is no longer drivable, and it's been sitting for the last few days. If you guys don't believe me, check this out. Look at that right there. Nah, I'm just kidding. That's not what it is. Before too many people get triggered and roast me for clickbaiting, don't worry guys, that's not what I'm talking about. Although that does suck. I actually noticed that yesterday. I got a nail in the tire. But we'll deal with that another day. What I'm actually talking about is the 330. And yes, guys, the car actually is not drivable, unfortunately. But it's an issue that I've been expecting and anticipating for a long time. So if you guys are new to this channel, this is my 2017 BMW 330i. That does mean it has the B46, and that's important because this issue occurs on all these cars. So what happened, guys, is unfortunately the car is leaking. Well, not even leaking. The coolant line has completely bursted. This car has no coolant in it, which is really unfortunate. If you guys are new to the channel, I actually made a video about this a long time ago because, again, this is a very common and very well-known issue on these cars. So much so that BMW actually issued a recall. About 2 years ago when I first bought this car, I bought the replacement coolant line, which I'll actually show you guys in a second here, but it's basically this line right over here. This isn't typically where it bursts when it goes into the expansion tank. It actually goes around back into here, and that's the side that it typically bursts in. So here's the line that I'm talking about. Again, guys, I bought this off FCP Euro when I first bought the car because I knew this was gonna happen eventually. When I bought the car, it had 21,000 miles on it. But I knew this would eventually go bad, so I was kind of preparing for when it did go bad, just kind of give you guys an idea of where it goes. So it'll attach onto there, go around and connect somewhere back there. So that part is very difficult to reach. This part is super easy. So it's not a hard job to do, but after making that video warning you guys about this issue, a lot of you guys commented and said that BMW recently issued a recall for it. So I'm supposed to take the car to them not tomorrow, but the day after tomorrow. So what I'm probably gonna do is pour a whole bunch of coolant inside, make the drive about like 20 minutes away to my preferred BMW dealership or service center, and see how it goes. Because honestly, guys, it's very possible that they tell me this actually wasn't the issue and it's something else, which I'm hoping is not the case, because that would really suck. I have a whole bunch of coolant inside right now. I'm hoping, guys, I can just put some coolant in here and the car will be fine until I get to BMW. That's assuming it's a slow leak. If it's not a slow leak, that's not gonna work. So, only one way to find out. We're gonna have to do this. Also, I apologize if I sound a little funny, a little sick of this car, that is. No, I'm just joking. So, quick update. You see that? Yep, this thing's not holding any coolant. So definitely not gonna drive the car. I'm actually just gonna shut it off right now. That sucks, guys. The next thing I'm gonna have to try to do now is get a tow truck. Alright guys, I don't know where this video last left off. It's been a few days. In fact, it's been so long that I got a whole new camera setup. So I have a brand new mic, so hopefully the audio sounds better. And I also have a brand new lens, which is a nice wide angle lens. So you guys can get a better view of everything, especially in this little small space. Like you can see all of the M3 right now. That's pretty cool. Anyways, regarding the 3 Series. So I think I left this video off of me trying to put some coolant in the car, see if it was a slow leak so I can drive it over to BMW so they can do the whole recall. Well, I think you saw in that last clip, but unfortunately, it was not a slow leak. It was dumping coolant out of the bottom. There was no way I was gonna drive the car, so I had to go ahead and get the car towed. I was at work when it happened, so I didn't get to like film that part of it, but I had to go through insurance and get the car towed because BMW apparently does not cover the tow, even though it's their fault that this happened. There's a whole bunch of issues, by the way, with them even like agreeing to do the recall, because apparently this is a Canadian car. Not apparently, it is. So because it's a Canadian car, they couldn't find the VIN of this car in their system, so they couldn't perform the recall. At least that's what they were telling me. I called one dealership that I liked. I'm not gonna name any of the dealerships, but I called one dealership that I like, and yeah, they basically refused to do it. Again, because it's a Canadian car. If you guys have a US spec car, you don't have to worry about any of this, but if you have a Canadian car and you're in the US, this is gonna apply to you. So they refused to do it. I called another dealership, they also refused to do it, but they pointed to me, they're like, hey, call BMW North America and see what they have to say. So I did. And then when I called BMW North America, literally BMW themselves, they basically said that like, yeah, you can transfer the car into the US system, blah, blah, blah. Long story short, guys, transfer the car. And then I was able to do the recall. So if you guys have a Canadian car in the US, keep that in mind. You will have to transfer it. So got the car over to BMW. Now, when I was speaking to the service advisor, he did tell me, and this is something you guys should definitely be aware of, is for them to identify what the real issue is. Now, obviously, I know these cars pretty well. I knew about this issue well before it even happened, but, you know, probably could have been another issue. I almost kind of assumed that it was the coolant issue that's associated with the recall, but BMW has to verify that. So they have to perform a 32-point inspection, whatever it's called, or a diagnostics, whatever you want to call it, and that costs, at least here in New York, about $218 per hour. If they find that that's the issue with your car, you don't have to pay the diagnostic fee because that's all covered under warranty. So in my case, they did find that that was in fact the issue, so I didn't have to pay for it. They did the whole recall. I'm all good, nothing out of pocket. But if you have a coolant leak and you bring it in and BMW says it's not that issue, it's another issue, you will be responsible for that diagnostic fee, which unfortunately, guys, is not a little amount of money. That's a good amount of money. So keep that in mind. Just be very confident before taking your car to BMW that that is in fact the issue. As you guys can obviously see, mine has been replaced. It now has a nice new one right there, as you can see. So long story short, guys, the F30 is back. It is up and running. It officially has coolant. I'm no longer stranded. It was such a bad experience when this happened. Like literally, I don't know, I can't even remember how much I actually said in the beginning part of this video because it's been so long. It's been like, I've been filming this video for 2 weeks now. Like this is over the course of 2 weeks, which is not what I typically do, but this literally happened to me on my drive home from JFK picking up my mother-in-law. Like, what bad timing. Literally left me like, anyways, it sucks, but it's resolved now. The car is thankfully good. It is up and running. I'll quickly show you guys. So the car is good, no coolant issues. They also did do a check on the car in general, and everything's good. So they told me that the car only needs a wheel alignment and new tires, which I knew about. Here's the paper showing everything that was done on the car. So you guys can see here, it was all covered by warranty. Hopefully that's focusing, I can't even tell. To quickly summarize it, if you guys have this issue, most likely it's caused by that same coolant line, and you should be able to take it to BMW, get it fixed. Just, you might have to get your car towed through like your insurance or something, and just be really confident that it is that coolant line, because otherwise you will be responsible for that diagnostic fee. If it is in fact a coolant line covered by the recall, you don't have to pay that diagnostic fee. It's like covered because it's part of the recall. But anyways, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure you drop it a like. It really helps me out, guys. Please like the video. It is free. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. But with that said, guys, this video is pretty much done, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.